The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, your sports guy. Make sure you click the like, the subscribe, and comment as we bring you the best sports talk for Louisiana high school sports, period. I'm joined by my two co-hosts. You can catch them both on CrescentCitySports.com. Gonna start with my good friend, the one and only VK Jones. VK, what's going on?
What's going on, gentlemen? We appreciate you joining us. And Jared just took the win out my sales on that one, but thank you though.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, my brother. You did right. That's what hosts do. They grow up and they do a lot more things than they usually do. But regardless of the fact, Hash It Out Show is on all social media platforms. So please follow us and continue to support the Hash It Out Show. And we got a really good show for you tonight.
Also joining us, my good friend GP, George Peppers. What's up, George?
Doing well. It's Tuesday night. It's the Hash It Out Show on Facebook and YouTube. Where else would you rather be on a Tuesday night? And we had, like VK said, we got a special guest. It was a good day for prep sports today. A really good day, and we can talk about that later.
Good day for some, maybe bad for others. Depends on how you want to
Ah,
look at it
well,
and how some people
that's on
vote.
them.
So we'll see. But our special guest today, he's in his second year of coaching varsity football, but he's been at Patrick Taylor since 2020. He got his guys off this season to a 5-0 start and got Patrick Taylor to the playoffs last year in their first year of varsity football. We have the head coach of the Patrick Taylor Tigers, Coach Kenny Bourgeois. Coach, thank you for joining us, and how are you doing today?
Thank y'all for having me. I'm doing pretty good.
Good deal. Coach, I read that you always wanted to be a head coach. Why is that?
So I grew up, my dad coached at John Ehret for the first, I would say, 20 years of my life. So I kind of grew up around Ehret and just watching him coach and him and Coach North. And so I knew I wanted to get into coaching. And then, once I started coaching, I was like, all right, I want to be a head guy one day and kind of make the decisions. Just, when you're the head guy, you can do everything the way you want to do it. And so that was really it.
In January of 2020, you took the head coaching job at Patrick Taylor. Why did you feel like Patrick Taylor was the correct spot to start your journey of being a head coach?
So I was coaching at John Ehret with Marcus Scott, and so it wasn't January, it was June. I was there. He got the Deschran job, and I was going to stay on at Ehret with Reggie Rogers. And then Patrick Taylor called me and said they had an opening because actually Coach Kagan's at Fisher. He started the program the year before as a middle school team, and he got a chance to go back to his alma mater. So I got a call from Pat Taylor, and I felt the timing was good. I know COVID was rough, but I was going to get 2 years to kind of build it from scratch before we got to varsity, do it the way I wanted. It worked out timing wise too, because we had a freshman schedule only. My wife was due with our first child. So I was like, you know what? I think this is a challenge that, it's not only getting to do it the way I want as the head coach. There really was a good opportunity to lay the foundation, the whole thing, without really a whole lot to have to go change, because it was almost, like I said, they had 1 year before, but it was almost a clean slate that I could just kind of build almost from scratch. So it was just opportunity that and timing that I just jumped on.
You worked under numerous head coaches. Curtis Johnson at Tulane when you were a graduate assistant.
Mm-hmm.
You worked under Bill Stubbs at Riverside and Marcus Scott at John Ehret.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us something that you've learned from working with those head coaches.
So every head coach I've worked for has been different. The main things I kind of learned was, you got to treat every kid fairly, but not every kid the same. Some kids take coaching a certain way differently than another kid will. Some kids you can really be hard on. Some kids you got to love up more. So that was the main thing. And then those guys were really, really good at organizing their practices towards what you're going to do in a game, and not just, doing practice to practice. And that was the main two things that I learned from them.
Last season was the first year of varsity football for Patrick Taylor. You got your first career win over Grace King, defeated them 22-21.
Mm-hmm. Let's
go back to that game and tell us your feeling once you got your first win.
It was a really good feeling. We spent a year as just a freshman team, and then as a JV team the next year. So, we knew what we could be because we had the same group just constantly together. And, that game started out rough for us. We had to come back to win that one. And so that, on top of it being the first win, it was really exciting. We had our first student section there. It was really cool for the school.
Your team also made the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
You faced Ascension and Episcopal in the first round. Wasn't victorious, but what can you say about that team last year getting to the playoffs?
It was it was really, for year one, it was very successful. We thought, other than the playoff game and our district game against John F. Kennedy, our other, 4 losses were by less than a touchdown. So, it showed that our kids could battle. They were competitive. They got after it. First year varsity, which a lot of people don't realize, the speed of varsity is so much different than JV. We didn't know how to finish a couple of those games, but the fact that we were able to get to the playoffs under the current format, which I'm sure y'all will talk about later, I'm a big fan of compared to what it was before, was good. And it was just a good experience for our guys. And I think that's helped us a lot into this year with the lights aren't too big for us anymore. We know how to play, we know how to finish. And so it was a good experience overall.
We are live with Coach Kenny Bourgeois, the head coach of the Patrick Taylor Tigers. For those that are tuning in, we thank you so much. Please click that like, that subscribe, and also comment. Before I pass it on to VK Coach Bourgeois, your team is off to a 5-0 start. What can you say about your team so far halfway through the season?
This is the group of seniors that started the team the year before I got there as 8th graders, and then my first year as freshmen. So they're experienced. They've been together a long time, and we have a lot of them. We have 29 seniors. So this is kind of what they worked for, was to get to this point, and it's shown on the field. They're experienced, they're tough. They're not always the fastest guys, but they play hard, and it fits our style with what we run on offense and defense. And we've been lucky so far, staying healthy, and we're just trying to keep it going when we get a time. So it's been exciting. Very happy with this team, and it's good, like I said, to see these seniors having the success that we're having.
VK.
Coach, man, it's good to have you on the show and everything. First of all, last season, I'm thinking in the back of my head that when I seen Kenny Bourgeois, I'm thinking, oh man, I mean, the assistant coach from Eric, he taking over. I said they're gonna be okay. Now all of a sudden I come to find out, no, that's his son. I'm like, oh. So it had to get 2 and 2 together on that one, but you're doing a great job over there. But I know it's definitely the same blood more than anything else, because your dad was, what he did at John Eric was something else, and I thought he was going to be the successor from Billy North after he retires, because Kenny Bourgeois, he did an unbelievable thing when Coach North went on at a hiatus. So I guess the apple didn't fall from the tree, huh, Coach?
I appreciate that. Yeah, my dad obviously is a big influence on me, and me and him still talk every day. He actually he never wanted to be a head coach. He loved Eric. He played there, and he's actually still coaching. So it's cool. Me and him get to talk every day still, and he's probably what's the word? My main I guess my main, I can't think of the word right now. The guy I confide in the most, just mentor. There you go. That's the word. So it's cool. Me and him have that we get to talk about every day. So.
Absolutely. And I want to give a special shout out. I know you might know this person well. He's an assistant principal at John Eric. Trent Vincent.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
his son was a senior for us last year at middle linebacker.
And I know I go way back with him and his family. I grew up with his family a lot. So, Trent, if you're watching, I got Pat Taylor on there for you, man, because he's been speaking high on y'all program a lot, and I'm like, please get him on it. Please get them on the Hash It Out show. I'm like, okay, we got this. It's coming. But I wanted to give him a shout out as well. But Coach, how it is that you're, figuring out and turning around and putting together a program, immediately starting to win, going into year number 2, especially as an academia type school. Not saying it in a bad thing, but under the magnet window like a Haynes Academy and Thomas Jefferson.
So I think first off, we I couldn't do it without my athletic director and my principal. They fully support me in everything that, anything I need. The parent support at Patrick Taylor is unbelievable. It's almost like being at a, the only Catholic school I compare it to is Jesuit, because that's where I went. It's almost at being like a Catholic league school. Like the parents are just involved. They help us with fundraising, pregame meals. So we couldn't do without them. And then I think, it's an academic school, but we do get some athletes, and they just bought in since day one. And it's, like I said, it's helped that this is year 4 of them doing what we ask, and it's been successful and rolling.
Do you feel that you're getting a lot of backing, not just from the parents and everything, but the administration as well, to understand that more than anything, yeah, academics come first, but also at the same time that we want to also have a great all-around successful school, because there have been certain schools in this city that has kind of failed that, but now they're trying to make an effort to change it, because over the years we have seen some schools that have done that, and has been pretty much has been a detriment more than anything else. I'm saying not knocking what the schools are doing, because nothing wrong with having academics first, but there's nothing wrong to have a great all around school because kids would want to have pride going in that school outside of making the grades.
I agree with that. So I think it was Saturday. I was talking to Ken Trahan, and him and Ed Daniels asked me the same thing, and I forget what year it was. It was a couple years before COVID hit, and Zachary was in the dome, and I was watching it on TV, and a little caption came up that they were also the #1 public school in the state that year. And I think academics and athletics goes hand in hand because of, like you said, if your athletics are excelling and doing good, the kids have more pride in their school, whether they play the sports or not, which makes them, I guess, behave better and care more about their school, which causes the academics to go up, and it goes hand in hand. And I think my principal knows that because I'm telling you, since I got there, anything I've needed, she has gone ahead and okayed. She wants our school to be #1 academic, but also like our kids deserve to have a great high school experience, and she knows athletics is a part of that. So she's been great.
Well, Coach, can you tell us a little bit about your players that's been really stepping it up for you this season, offensively and defensively, that has really helped your team to come with a 5-0 start?
So there's a lot of them. Like I said, it's a big senior group, but offensively, we're an under center split back veer team, so we run the ball a lot, and our O-line has been playing phenomenal. We have 3 guys in the backfield. Our quarterback is Ethan Tran. The offense doesn't go without him. He executes it. He reads it good. He's a very good athlete. Our 2 running backs, Bryce Boutte and Harrison Fisk, are also seniors. They hit it hard and fast, and they run. I mean, they run mean and nasty. We've been able to, control the ball on offense, which has helped us. Time possession has helped keep the defense fresh, and defensively, we blitz and play man a lot. We're in a 3-3 stack, and we send people from everywhere. My D coordinator likes to mix it up, and we got a couple guys who are returning all district players. Rasheed Brown, he's a senior D lineman. He's phenomenal for us. He's one of those guys that if he was about 4 inches taller would have some offers, but life's not fair. He's about 5'8", but he is a phenomenal high school football player. Then we have 2 linebackers who made all district last year, Kincaid Hinyup and Ethan Bartholomew. And that's just the big names, but all of our kids, man, they play so physical and fast and hard, and it's really shown. It's been a fun season because of this group.
And I'll tell you one thing, I'm really, feeling this fan base so far, Coach Bourgeois. I mean, we get a lot of interaction on this show alone in itself. We're continuing to grow. You got a deep fan base, Coach, because they is out there tonight, man. I'm loving this,
It's so we I think this week we played Fisher for homecoming. We had, I think my AD showed me the ticket sales. We had over 1,000 people at West Jeff. Like the school and the school support and the parents. It's a really cool place for being a small academic public school.
Absolutely awesome. I actually, there was one more thing and let George Peppers take over on the questions here. What are your thoughts going into this week's opponent? You go against Livingston, a very tough opponent, but not just that. The way your district is shaping up, it's a little more tougher this year than a little bit. With y'all guys being 5-0, you're looking at Livingston's pretty tough. Reed is tough. John F. Kennedy, a very, very good team, but also the emergence of Sophie B. Wright.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? It really makes the district becoming a lot better than last season.
It was so what's funny is last year my coaching staff and we would talk, and we compared our district last year to the Sun Belt. It's a small district in the area that no one knows about, but everybody had a winning record going into it or undefeated, and it was tough. This year it's similar. I mean, everybody's rolling right now. You know, Livingston is going to be our toughest opponent to date so far. We've got to keep within ourselves, keep a 1 week at a time mindset, and just got to play hard and good and see what happens. But it is a tough district that not a lot of people talk about.
I want to thank everybody who's tuning in tonight. We thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and keep your comments coming. We are live with Coach Kenny Bourgeois, the head coach of the Patrick Taylor Tigers. George Peppers, on you, my friend.
All right, Coach. First of all, thank you for making the time to join us in advance of the second half of the season. Congratulations on the great start that you guys have had. I want to talk about my first question. Your defense has been gold this year. You've given up 36 points in 5 games, a couple of shutouts. Talk about your defense. I know there's a lot of experience. You played a 3-3-5 stack. I've seen it. I've seen that defense played, and when executed, it's tough to go against. Talk about the emergence of how your defense is really key this start for you guys this year.
So first off, I've got a great staff, and the defensive guys always have our kids prepared. We wanted to do the 3-3 stack because, playing O-line on paper, it was always a defense you look at and you're like, oh, this is easy to block. But as a high school O-lineman, when the guys start moving around, it really throws a high school O-line into whack if you do it right. And so we went into it. My D coordinator was like, this is what we're going to do. And I said, all right, I trust you. Let's roll with it. And he's got those guys so prepared. They've so prepared that they don't have to think. They just get out there and get after it. And, and then that's why we converted to the type of offense we run. We're going to play good defense. We're going to control the ball. And it's worked for us. They kept us in a lot of games last year defensively. And so that was our philosophy. Let's go defense, and we're gonna I'm a former lineman. We're gonna be tough and run the football. And that's kind of the mindset our kids have taken too, is like I said, we're not gonna be the fastest team, but we're gonna play tough and grind out some wins. And our defense is pretty good. They're phenomenal.
When you talked about when this is the second year of the 2 year cycle of the schedule that you guys are playing, but when you put this schedule together, you mentioned a lot, and it really has said a lot that you wanted a schedule like opponents. Could you elaborate what that means for the audience?
We wanted to get teams that we thought we could compete with, like teams like a Thomas Jefferson, a Haynes,
Right.
Counter Discovery. Coach Sprunk does a good job over there. They're a fairly new program. Grace King was the first person that called me. I was like, yeah, we'll play. That'll be a 5A game. We didn't want to go in over our heads, but we wanted to play good quality teams that we could compete with and see what we're made of.
Mhm.
That was the philosophy behind scheduling that.
And some coaches like to overschedule. You're doing it the right way. You're building it up the right way. And you guys, like JB mentioned, we're 5-5 last year. Tough loss in the playoffs to Sensen Episcopal. It's a quality football team. This year, you guys are 5-0. Second half of the schedule coming. I see a couple of really tough ones with Livingston and Kennedy down the road. What would be the modium of success for this season? I mean, you guys got to the playoffs last year and got there and got a taste. What is obviously everybody wants to get to the Superdome, but what would be considered a successful season for you guys in 2023?
Well, successful. Our goal is, and our kids have bought into this, is to go 1-0 every week. Take it a week at a time. The kids' really goal is to win district championship, host a playoff game, and just hopefully we're doing the right things and peaking towards the end of the season. And, you never know how your season's going to end. But like I said, we broke it down into small goals, and every week we try to get after it and go 1-0. And hopefully by the end of the season, we're competing for the district championship, and we're a high enough seed to host that first round game. And like I said, at that point, there's no telling. You take it one week at a time.
Arguably the best football in the West Bank being played at Westchester Stadium this year is by you guys, I would imagine. Saying it as a John Eric grad, I graduated from Aaron in 1990. You guys have been spectacular to this point, and I know your dad very well. He was at Eric when I was there. So I guess delivering my age or whatever, 53, full disclosure.
Gotcha.
But yeah, your dad's a great guy and awesome coach. Loved being around him and that staff there. Um, was it your dad that got you into coaching, or was it just something that you felt like, yep, that's me?
So I don't know if he got me into it, but he definitely didn't hurt my chances at it. Because, like I said, I grew up around it. Anytime I was off of school, I went with him to watch them practice. And ever since I was remember, before I started playing football at Jesuit, I was their ball boy from the age of, 8 to 14. And I went to every game. I grew up around the team, and I kind of fell in love with just watching. Okay, you get to stay involved with football. You get to teach these guys how to be men. And then what really got me was during the summers, I would go work out at Eric with my dad, and his former players would come back, and they would work out with him, and they would call him all the time. And I was like, wow, how cool to affect someone so much that they still want to keep in touch with you and just see how you're doing. And I thought that was cool. So while my dad wanted me to be a lawyer or a doctor. And, but growing up how I did, I ended up being a coach. And like I said, been really cool. He's influenced me. He's been my mentor. So that's how that came about.
Gotcha. Everybody talks about Ethan Tran, your quarterback. He's been spectacular for you. But a lot of the comments that we're singing, keep them coming, you guys from Patrick Taylor. Keep them coming. We love it. The interaction's beautiful. But everybody wants most of the predominance of the comments are about your all line. You have 4 starters back on this offensive line. Tell me about their progression this year and how they have keyed this offense to get the start that you've gotten.
So like I said, we want to run the football. Those guys have all been playing together, starting together since freshman year, and they get after it every day. They've had great off seasons, and we built it around them and the run game. So I can't say enough about them. They get after it. They're mean. They're physical. Really good group. So
and. Of course, and everybody, Ethan is a great quarterback for you guys, but he's also an all-district basketball player, so he's a great all-around athlete.
Yes.
Last year he made all-district for Patrick Taylor in basketball, so there's to be said about that. A great stat that I'm looking at in the comments tonight, your average ACT score is 28. That's beautiful. Awesome. And that really stresses the educational level at Patrick Taylor. ACT score of 20, and I think one of your players put that up there, Brock Boutique, I think. He put it up there. But last question before I give it over to JB. Elaborate more on Ethan. I mean, I mentioned some of the virtues and everything, but how has his progression been from last year to this year? What has been noticeable in his development for your team this year?
Ethan, he's a great athlete. He made all district for football last year. He made all district for basketball. He just really developed as a leader. More so this year, going into senior year. And like I said, he commands the offense. I think the offense trusts when he's making decisions on who gets the ball in our option game, that we got a chance to score on every drive. And it's one of those intangibles you can't teach. And he's a very important piece to our team right now. So very lucky to have him.
Thank y'all for tuning in, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, keep the comments coming. We're here with Coach Kenny Bourgeois, the head coach of the Patrick Taylor Tigers. Coach, I got one last question for you before we get you out of here.
All right.
I believe this Friday night you take on the Livingston Wolves. What have you seen on film about Livingston?
We play them Saturday at Joe Brown.
Okay, Saturday.
they're very, very fast and physical. You know, like I said, they're probably the toughest team we played so far, and it's a big district game. They got us last year. You know, we gotta stay within ourselves, go play tough. It's going to be a battle, but that's how you want district to be. Um, and like I said, we got to handle what we can handle, and hopefully it turns out in our favor Saturday night.
Coach Bourgeois, we wish you the best of luck Saturday against Livingston. We wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of the season. Hopefully, we can have you on the show again in the future. But once again, thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Welcome.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Kenny Bourgeois. And also thank you to everybody who's tuning in, especially those from Patrick Taylor. Don't leave us because Coach Bourgeois gone. We want y'all to stay for the whole show. Don't leave.
please stay, because we're up to over 100 comments already early in the show. We didn't have that a bunch of times, but I think it's like maybe the second time ever we didn't had comments reach the mark this early. So you guys, please stay for the rest of this show because we got some good things to talk about today.
There we go. Let's talk about Coach Bourgeois and the job he has done. Playoffs in the first year of varsity football. That's not easy to do for any first-time head coach of a varsity program. Also, they're 5-0 so far this season. Best start in school history. He's doing a fabulous job. Fabulous job. VK, what can you say?
Well, like I told Coach earlier, the apple don't fall far from the tree at all. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely in the blood. You know, for him to really get that program going, and you know, the name in itself, I just had a feeling that I think this Patrick Taylor team is gonna really start to thrive early, and that's what they're doing. And I like the mentality that school. I'm really surprised and shocked, but I'm very happy for Coach Bourgeois that he has an administration that is backing him and saying, we know about academics, we preach that, but we're behind you. We want this program to be successful. We want it to win. And that's a rarity at schools like that. And I'm telling you, if Coach Bourgeois stays there long as he can, look out, everybody else in JP, especially Thomas Jefferson, Haynes. I'm sorry, Patrick Taylor about to take over for a while.
GP, what are your thoughts?
I mean, like I mentioned in the interview, when I did that, his dad is a great guy. Kenny was a great coach. Is a great coach, great person, and seems like his son is like VK said, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I'm happy for the success that this school has had. I'm happy that they stress academics so much to the point where the ACTs are 28. That's really good.
That's wonderful.
I mean, I mean that's doggone near perfect. You know, with that said, the success that they've had on the football field. Who is this SMT Spider?
Hey, he's saying give you more speaking time.
I see that. I see that. Hey, that's why I stopped for a second. I was like, okay.
Where you getting these fans from, man, that be following you big
time? I don't know, dog. I have no earthly. I've asked my agent, VK Jones. I don't know. It's all. Oh, are you doing the flash? What's up?
Nah, okay. I was just saying.
For real.
I'm like, I'll help y'all a little bit, but at the same time, that's you natural with it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I appreciate the comments. Listen, but as far as the success, I was trying to say about the success that this school has had. They're 5-0, and I know I'm guessing this game's going to be on the litany of picks tomorrow night. JB, I would imagine it will be.
Definitely, yes.
Patrick Taylor.
Yes.
I'll say this: an early key. Patrick Taylor, as Coach Bourgeois said, they've got to stay within what they do, go with what they know best. They realize what this Livingston team brings. You know, they're fast, but they're also physical. What's the old rule, gentlemen? BK, you played online. It's tough to beat size, but it's also tough to beat size and speed at the same time. Patrick Taylor, this is easily their toughest test. into the district play they go. Uh, I think that they merit a look in this game. And, Ethan Tran, I've done a lot of reading about this school, in advance of tonight. They're doing things the right way. So whatever happens the rest of the year, I think there's a couple of more wins in the district. I think they'll beat teams like Haynes. I think Sarah Reed's a flip a coin game. Sophie B is a flip a coin game. Kennedy and Livingston, I think, are the ones where they could be, and I hate to say it, decided
Don't lose your fan base.
underdogs.
Don't lose your fan base. You got.
Oh, I'm not doing that, man. It's all good. No, I'm just being honest. Look. Objectivity. There's objectivity and bias, and I'm all about objectivity. It's so easy.
Hey man,
Okay,
they
that's
love
an
you,
it's.
bro. Like
I already am.
I'm trying to get them all
I
up.
already am.
Keep talking. I'm trying to get them
I
all
am.
up for you.
I am. I don't know who they are. I mean, look. Thank y'all, bro. I mean, on the real, well.
Thank you,
Look,
Flo.
exactly, Flo. I mean, this is a great team. The three of us have, and we do our thing because of the passion, and we show it. And look, it's natural.
Look, see,
I've got a face for radios, MST, SMT Spider. I don't have the face that VK or JB has, so I'm kind of hiding. But that game is Saturday night at Joe Brown. I wish I was off because that'd be an interesting get to go watch. But looking forward to this week as far as the prep game. And JB, I know y'all broke the story earlier today, and I don't know if we're going to elaborate more on it now that as time has passed as far as what happened today in Baton Rouge
we
with the
will. We
vote.
will. That's in our
Okay.
next segment. We will
Okay.
get on that.
But and I don't know if you want to recap some of the games from last week. I think that's where you want to go.
I'll get to that.
It's
We'll get to that in a little bit. I wanna take a quick commercial
I'm
break.
not trying to, Tavius.
Yeah, I want to take a quick
Tavius
commercial
Turner
break.
saying,
Quick commercial break
okay,
and get into the
all
vote
right,
that happened today. But I want to speak of Coach Bourgeois before we go. And look,
do that.
he's doing a fabulous job. Fabulous job.
Yeah.
10-5 so far in a year and a half of coaching. He's got these kids wanting to play for him. They're playing extremely hard, and they have made a statement so far this season that they are a much better team than what they were. SMT Spider is saying, George, go to the game. And look, it's a game I would go to Saturday if my goddaughter wasn't having her first birthday party. I would be there. I
I
would be
would,
And
there.
what?
I would probably go too. And I ain't gonna lie, I got some big plans on Saturday myself. But regardless of the fact, what helps Patrick Taylor, regardless of the fact that Coach Bourgeois doing a great job, how tough the district is now.
Yes.
So it really helps them, and I think it's
Yeah.
gonna help power rankers regardless. Even if Patrick Taylor don't win district, they might have a good enough power ranking that they're gonna host a first round playoff.
It's
game. I can
possible.
feel it.
Here's a joke. The party ends at 7. It ends at 7. So we're gonna try to look at the rest of the games y'all got on your schedule, and we're gonna try to make one. We're gonna try to make one. I promise you that. Most definitely. We
Okay.
owe y'all that much respect.
They have a Thursday game on next Thursday. They do have Sophie B. Wright as a
Okay.
home
Where's
game.
that game at, VK?
I
West
think
Jeff.
it's at Memphis. They're the home team.
Sounds like we can make that game because guess what? Look, I can't make the game this week. You two guys have social plans, and JB, I get yours. VK, you as well, but me, work beckons. Oh Lord, DJ, there we go.
Look,
Damn.
somebody asked me about Coach Jeffrey Boyd. Yes, I know who Coach Jeffrey Boyd is. Yes, I do. I know who he is. My last name Boyd, no relation, but I do know Coach Jeffrey Boyd.
Mhm.
I talked to Coach Jeffrey Boyd to get in contact with Coach Bourgeois to get him on the show. So that's how that happened. So yes.
But
All right. Everybody say bring the fam. They want us there. Look, we're gonna next Thursday. Next Thursday we will try. I think it's a good shot to do it next Thursday. We'll be on that. We'll be
I'll
on
be
that
off at
sideline.
I'll be off at 2 next Thursday. I'll be in advance of the weekend I get off. So if y'all willing, we can make it a triumvirate to head out to Hoss Memphis next Thursday night.
I'm with it. Let's do it.
I'm down with it too.
All right. We're gonna take our first commercial break, and we come back. We're gonna talk about the vote that happened. Is the playoff format staying the same, or is it going back to what it was from 2013 to 2021? We will see when we come back right here on the Hash It Out Show. And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. Bayou Audio and Video, one of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our sponsors who are sponsoring the Hash It Out Show and the Hash It Out Show Games of the Week. Let's get into, well, before that, everybody that's watching, click that subscribe button, click the like button. Also, keep the comments coming. We truly appreciate everyone who is on board with us tonight. Let's talk about this playoff format. So, as you know, an injunction was came about from 9 schools in the northern part of the state. They did not like the playoff format. They were more upset about not being able to vote, and the LHSAA just putting schools in certain selects or non-select. So the LHSAA voted today. All the administrators and principals, they went and vote today on it. And I didn't think that it would go through. They needed 203 votes to go through. I say that's not going to happen. We're keeping the same format that we had this past season in 2022. 260 votes. So there's no change to the playoff format at all. It is staying how it is. Now, I'm happy that this is staying the way it is. We get better competitive games in the playoffs. What I want in the future, to go back to what it was from 2012 to 1960, 70, whatever. I want this 1A through 5A. But right now, I can deal with how it is. Because before 2022, we had select with like 12 teams getting by to the semifinals. You got teams 0-10 making the playoffs. And it shouldn't be like that. So I'm happy for that reason. Now, let's look on the flip side of things from certain schools. Coach Lyle Feet of our SMT Spider, appreciate it, my man. And he's giving a shout out to GP. GP, man, you the man, GP. But anyway, Lyle Feet of South Plaquemine told us that he does not like this format because he's a 2A school competing against 3A schools who has about 90 players on their team, much more depth than what he has compared to 35. And I understand that part. I really do. I can see how he sees it. I can see it. And I can sit there and say, hey, I see your point. But my personal reason is better competitive football. And you saw it last year, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it in the playoffs. You saw it in the Dome. We had better competitive playoff games. I'm happy it's staying where it's at for this season. And we'll see come January when they do another vote. But I'm going to go to GP first. GP, your thoughts about this?
It's an exhilarating result today. 260 people, principals and admins, voted to keep this thing as is. For me, as a media member and part fan, I mean, because I love, man, look, Rashid, I hear you. I want that too, but that could actually happen. And here's how. I guess I am the crowd favorite, DJ. Well, you was the crowd favorite last Thursday, though. I'll say that. I'll say that. That man, that dude's enthusiasm at the 35 game that was off the chain last week. I mean, we were doing our broadcast and he was giving on-site commentary. I mean, but it's all good. Anyway, look, y'all know where I stand on this format. And there's the injunction still has yet to be heard for the 9 schools. It's on the Crescent City website.
Right.
Kenny Trahan writes it, that they have yet to make a final determination about the injunction. It's probably going to get thrown out. So many schools have voted for to maintain this format. Here's the thing that you get with this format, and this is what we get, what we got last year. The propensity, what usually makes a playoff? Upsets. Gotta love it. Look, it happens in March Madness. It happens in every level of baseball. Baseball, every level of sport, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, upsets happen. And that's the thing about schools that are the little, the ones, I don't want to say it's Hoosiers because we're not that, like the movie Hoosiers, where the littlest school can win state titles. But it's always fun to watch schools like that dream and really perform. And look, I know the lights get bigger and some schools crack and whatnot, but the fact that this format's going to stay the same for me is a humongous victory. And we only had two blowouts last year in the Superdome out of the 8 games that they had for the Martin John Curtis, many Union Parish. Every other game, toe to toe. It was close that I can recall. I mean, the game Lutcher and North of Soto was close. Destrehan Ruston was reasonably close. All right, Kiro, I'll give it to you. What's happening? Thank you for commenting and being a part of the show. And to everyone that's commenting, we thank you. And look, y'all keep on coming back. We'll be back tomorrow night. Another guest. We'll talk about that later. Y'all keep coming back. This show is up and coming. Couldn't do it without these two guys. These guys are amazing. Love them. And we love what we do. And that car ride to Vassar, you're going to be interesting Friday, JB. I know you can't be on it with us. I know. I'm just saying, them conversations we have on the way there. Oh boy, debate city. Let me just tell y'all, off the
Yep.
record debate. But no, VK, that's my opinion. And listen, I think what we've had today, how can anybody poo poo this vote? I mean, the ones that voted against it, what y'all need to do, I don't know. It's how many principals was it? 113 or something like that. To
125.
those 125. Okay, to
And,
those
and that,
100.
that includes half of the Jefferson Parish public schools voting
Oh, I
no,
knew that. I
and
knew that
all
would
of
happen.
Orleans voted no.
I knew that would happen. Look, JP in Orleans. That's the one misunderstanding I have. Why is JP considered charter select and Orleans select? Where in the curriculum does it suggest that? It doesn't. That needs to change, and I think it will in January because I feel like now I don't know if you guys know, but every vote that happens
Cool
come
down.
January is going to be a majority vote. It is not going to be a set percentage. It is a majority, simple majority vote. So guess what? The go back to 1 to 5A might come up, and if it does, guarantee you it's happening. But VK, I love this format, dude. I
Appreciate it,
really
bro.
do.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I love this format. I think, is it foolproof? No, there's still flaws in some aspects of it, in some. But for the most part, like I said, this format allows for the unpredictable, and that makes playoffs. It's not always the best team, it's the hottest team. Brother Martin showed you that last year. But to you, I cede it to you, VK, and that's where I stand on this whole issue with the vote today.
Oh, Mr. Sig,
Well,
we kind of did that on our first show, saying, our state
We did.
champion, we thought. So we didn't have Patrick Taylor in it, but you never know. We may change our minds come playoff time. You never know. Go ahead, VK. All right,
well,
Jack the man. We
you know,
appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I know a lot of y'all got to go to bed. It's all good, but man, I gotta tell you, this is the best format in all the years we had to split. And bottom line, and I'm glad that the bigger people and I can and George, I appreciate you pointed it out. And me and Jared was talking about, I'm like, what do the Orleans Parish and Jefferson Parish schools want? What they really want? But then all of a sudden you figured out, oh, they're fighting for the names, fighting to say, hey, how in the world we're select and we're really not. We're a public school, or now y'all choosing charter. But I think more than anything else, it's perfect sense to continue this, to continue what the format is, and you look at it. it was dream matchups, man. Straight dream matchups we had last year, and guess what? It's gonna be matchups again this year. Great matchups again this year.
Mm.
We're gonna see some great games. But see, I said this myself to Jared long time ago when this happened. I said if they come out and vote for this and everything comes through, we going back to 1-5 in January. We going back because these people, and I know JP and Orleans, I think they're gonna vote to get their 1-5 back because they are sick and tired of the mess. And I think a lot of other schools are sick and tired of all the rhetoric and all the price, the high price they had to pay, all the unnecessary stuff that these schools of public school descent and whatever had to go through, even with this split. So I think they're tired of it. I think there's time to go back, and more than anything else, like they said, it's just the adults just digging in to a kid's game, and that's not good. They want to go against the best.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go against They want to go against the best of the best. And I said it once earlier on the breaking news, and I'm gonna say it again. Yeah, these private schools have an advantage sometimes, but all these charters starting to have an advantage too, and all that. All I'm gonna tell you is up your game. Like we talked with Coach Bourgeois, and he deeply agreed with what I said. Have a great all-around program. It ain't just about the grades. Do you want to win? Do you want pride in your community? What do you want? You want all-around success, right? Why do you think a school like West Jeff, and I hate to use them as an example, look at how that program has suffered over the last 2 decades. Really, decade and a half.
Yeah, I go with that. Decade and a half. Yeah.
Decade and a half, not 2, decade and a half. Because I almost forgot about the Hank Tierney and
Bill
Marcus
Crutchfield
Scott days.
and Crutch.
Yeah, Sarah Crush. Yeah, the last days of West Jeff being relevant. Now they're not even there. It's not even close. And it ain't just the athletics either. It's the academics. It's the administration. And administration they've been having some good coaching, but guess what? They drove them out. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Oh boy. Come on.
I'm sorry.
George.
You want to start the show, baby. You start the show, George.
I know. All right,
Tell them
Kiro.
bye, George.
I won't say bye because we're not done yet. But if you got a roll, man, thank you for taking the time to join us. And VK,
Definitely.
look, bro, that's
Definitely.
not a raise the finger interruption, sir. That's a comment interruption. So
I just let you go
it's
ahead.
all
All I
good,
say,
baby.
I like
It's all to the good.
tell him bye.
I did. He's good to go.
Thank you,
But
Kiro.
one more
Thank
thing. One more
you.
thing I want to interject about the format. If we go back to 1-5, here's what we all grew up in. 1-32. 32 teams make the playoffs. Legit 32 playoff teams, not trash. Not 0-10s, 2-8s, or 3-7s, or any of that crack. No. You had legit 32 teams, and those teams got in there with chances to do some damage. Before we hit the split, Acadiana, they had to forfeit some games, but they were at 27 and ran into East St. John as a 6 and went to Keller and destroyed them, hung 70 in round 1. And I hate to bring up Acadiana because, they did beat Shaw as a 29 seed. If I remember right, I think they beat y'all.
Yes, they did.
Yep. They beat Shaw, and Shaw was a 4.
That's right.
Shaw was a 4
Shaw
seed.
was a 4
Sure
seed.
was. I was in the hospital at that time when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was very an interesting day when I just got out. I was in the hospital and my dad was telling at the time when he was living and told me. I said, "Son, can you believe this?" I said, "What happened? A 29 seed beat Shaw."
The black jerseys, bro. We don't
Yeah, that's what that was.
black
Them damn
jerseys.
black jerseys.
Black jerseys.
Hank Tierney said we will never wear those black jerseys ever
Somebody
again.
on that team
was his
asked him
quote.
after the win against was it West Jeff or Bonneville, can we get black jerseys? And they said Coach Hank had a heart attack when he heard that.
I'm gonna put a special request.
Man. He's like, what? What black jerseys? No, not happening.
I'll tell you what.
Hurst.
I'm going to put a request to Coach Cheney myself, and I'm going to ask him, look, if you schedule Eric, I'm demanding y'all put on them black jerseys when y'all play Eric next year. I just,
Ah,
and then cut your grass at Zimmerman. I mean,
There
just
he
do
go.
that.
There he go.
Look,
hey, turf is coming, baby. Don't
I
All
worry.
right,
already
you know
Turf
know,
is
what?
coming.
Jaquan and Ron they asked. Almost gave that man a heart attack. Look,
but
I
Oh
love black
Lord.
jerseys, but at Shaw, we cannot go back to that, bro. I'm
yes,
telling
you
you, bro.
can. Yes, you
No,
can
no, bro.
for the
Cursed. We cursed.
for the benefit of
That's
those
the
with flash
only school
photography,
that's
sir.
I'm like this. That's the only school that's really cursed with black jerseys. South Plaquemines was pretty good with
Yeah.
black jerseys.
Say where
West Jeff set
West
the
Jeff,
tone.
Carr,
They set the tone with
hard
it. And
to.
like, man,
Helen Cox had
Carr as
some.
well. Cox has had some
Yeah.
as well. But see, but going back to what I was saying about West Jeff, it was just crazy. But we're talking about certain schools like that and certain other schools that has been damaged totally. So it's just the fact of the matter is, if you want to be an all around great program, you got to up your
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
game. It could be from coaching, athletes. It doesn't matter. Find a way. That's what Patrick Taylor is doing. They are finding a way, and you just gotta love it. How these schools are freaking trying. If you're trying, that's effort. I'll take effort any day without somebody that's not trying. I
Correct.
see Riverdale
Yeah.
is
Yes.
trying. They are finally trying, and I'm gonna give them that. Over the years, they have drove good coaches out, but now I see Sean Temple and the vision that they're trying to do that. They are really trying over there at Riverdale. So I got to give them that. That's what I mean by upping your game. You up your game. I'm telling you, you could be a team that can knock off a Giant
It can
Curse
happen.
or knock off an
That's right.
Evangel. It can
It can
happen.
happen.
Just gotta believe.
Coach Hankton. Coach Hankton, if you still are with us, I hope you are.
Yes.
October 25th, we're having our 100 episode show. We want you back on. We talked about it. We want you back on. Yes, Coach Hankton, you. We want you back on. So if you got time in your schedule, please come back and join us on October 25th. And we'll get you on. We'll talk about the time to get you on, Coach Hankton. Guys, I'm just happy the playoff format is back. It's staying where it is. I'm happy about that. It's a good time to smile, in my opinion, because it's what I want. Other coaches who voted no, they're not happy. And can't please everybody here. Everybody. You can't please everybody in life. We're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, me, VK, and GP, we all put down who we think are the top 5 teams in the state. It's time to debate one another. We'll be right back on the Hash It Out Show.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. Click that subscribe button. Hit the likes. Keep the comments coming, everybody. We thank y'all for being here with us. The Hash It Out Show game of the week will be between the St. James Wildcats and the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers. This game will be played Friday night at St. James Wildcat Stadium in Vacherie, Louisiana. You can tune into the audio broadcast at www.tsbnsports.com. VK Jones and George Peppers will be calling the game. All right, guys. Now, we doing something new. I asked the guys to name your top 5 teams in the state overall. Something like, when they do in boxing and mixed martial arts, your pound for pound best. And that's what we did. And I'm gonna go first. And keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. If you agree with my top five, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. I got a problem with it. But my top five is this. Number one is Edna Carr. Russet is number two. Destrehan is number three. St. Thomas More is fourth. And Holy Cross sneaks in at number five with the big win over John Curtis. Why do I have Holy Cross number five? Out of all the teams in Louisiana, John Curtis was the highest ranked team nationally. Nationally. That's why I put Holy Cross at number five. I'll start with George Peppers. Do you see anything wrong with my list, George Peppers? Do you disagree with anything, or do you like my list?
I guess I'll elaborate when you put my top five because I don't have Rust in there. And look, it's not a slap in the face to that program, but here's the reason, the criteria I use. Three of the top teams I have are reigning, and four of the top teams I have are reigning defending state champions. At the Car, Destrehan, St. Charles, STM. That's my top four. Those guys have
I
not
get
lost
you.
a
I
game.
get you. I'm gonna get to yours next. I'm just
Okay.
saying about mine. I'm gonna get to
About
you next.
yours, I don't
Yeah.
fault you for putting Rust in there, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Ruston did lose at home to Warren Easton, who got destroyed by Edna Carr.
They
So if we're
did.
going by commonplace, I think, and look, this is not to poo-poo Ruston at all. That's a very good football team, but they took Neville's best shot last Friday. Emmanuel Peppers, who does the original with Kenny Trahan every Friday, tracks all the scores around the state. That game was a toe-to-toe battle all night. Neville threw their best punch, but Ruston found a way to win it. I don't have real fault. And look, I've got Holy Cross on my list too when I get to it. There's something to be said when a young team like Holy Cross that is blended so well can come back from two double-figure deficits, two against John Curtis. I don't
Yep.
know many teams that can get off the mat against that team being down two scores, and they did. You know what? And I told VK this earlier today. Scott Watney, right now, is the head coach, is the coach of the year for me because of what he has done at that program. And look, that Curtis win is going to propel him. Now they still got Brother Martin, they still got Carr, they
They
got
got St.
all.
Aug this
They got
Saturday.
St. Aug this weekend. Look, I must say this about that game. I know we're going to pick it tomorrow night. That is a Saturday night tilt, correct?
Saturday at 1:30.
Okay.
Saturday
Oh,
afternoon.
afternoon.
That's
Okay.
it's
And,
actually St. Augustine's homecoming.
and that's at
Mm,
Tag Gormley, right?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. They better be careful because I know St. Aug lost to Jesuit. But Holy Cross better be on their game. I mean, don't feel your oats too hard because that St. Aug team, yeah, they did, coach. They did. Uh, you know, I could go on a whole St. Aug tangent and say they are an accident waiting to happen, but it already happened last week when Jesuit beat them. I mean, I could do that. But your list, VK, oh, Reginald talking noise now. But no, your list, VK. I mean, JB. I don't really have an issue with it. I mean, I don't have Ruston ranked in my top five, and I'll like elaborate more when you get to me. But I
Sure.
don't really have a big issue with it. I mean, you got three state champions on the list. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Why is St. Charles not on your list? Tell me why.
Why is St. Charles not on my list?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Excellent question. Because St. Aug has beat Archbishop Shaw. They've beaten
Hmm.
Turlings. They've beaten Lutcher. They've beaten De La Salle. They've beaten Vanderbilt Catholic. They've beaten five good teams. Yes. Why not? Why aren't they on my list? Because I don't think they could beat these top five teams I have. That's why they're not on my list.
Okay. The counter to that, the counter to that is this.
Uh-huh.
St. Charles to the eye test, and I'm a believer in what I see. Me and VK saw St. Charles play, and I said this to the both of you when we took the trip last week to 35. I said St. Charles is the best closing team in the state.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that had, yeah, Reginald, I hear you, but this is the best closing team in the state. I feel like that kick that they showed against Sterling's in week 3 and against a semifinal team, a team that is a semifinalist, a team that is a state championship contender, then VK is going to agree with me. That team, they've got big finish, man. They demolished that team in that second half, and that's a team that could score 35 to 40 points in their sleep. and St. Charles put the clamps on them people. I get what you're saying. I just feel like to the eye on what I've seen, and I'll elaborate on my list. That's that's an excellent football team that should be in that list.
Q. I had a sharp player DM me on Instagram like, where we at? And I said, man, I can't be biased. I can't be biased. I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all not in the top 5 right now. If y'all undefeated by beating Kincaid and St. Charles, maybe. But I keep it real. All right, VK, anything to say about my list?
Not at all. I respect the list and everything. I'm kind of surprised you don't have St. Charles on there, but I get where you're coming from with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a straight top 5.
Cool. All right, let's go to GP's list. He has Edna Carr number 1, Destrehan 2, St. Charles Catholic 3, St. Thomas More 4, and Holy Cross 5. GP, explain why you got yours in that order.
Well, I mean, it's aforementioned. The first 4 teams are reigning champions that have not lost a game. Carr, we saw against St. Aug 2 weeks ago, rally. That's something that we hadn't seen. They were in a very unfamiliar position at Gormley 2 weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago, and they were able to pull back and win that game against St. Augustine. To Destrehan, look, are they a flashy team? No. They're just gonna grind it and pound it on you. And Shane Lee is a terrific player, and that defense is every bit as legit as can be. Um, they have not lost the game, so why am I punishing those? You're not supposed to. Um, well, goodness gracious, there you go. St. Charles Catholic, aforementioned, saw them against a 4A school in Turlings Catholic, whitewash them in the second half. It was a competitive game at halftime, and they demolished them. Now they ransacked LSL, and that game was close early. But again, that second half devastation that St. Charles puts up, they are that good. That's a favorite for Division 3. St. Thomas More is my 4th team. Look, I don't like some of the mannerisms that they use, but the football team is excellent. They can score. Their defense is a little haggard. I don't think they make enough stops, but they can get away with it in Division 2, perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this year they're going to get their comeuppance. Holy Cross, Jared, you and I have them both 5th. And before anybody says we're prisoners of the moment, this is a Holy Cross team that has been progressing all year long and had not had a breakthrough win. They had not had it. Now, the matter of how they beat John Curtis, you tell me how many teams you can think of that were 2 scores down on Curtis and twice and beat him. That's special. Scott Watney has done an excellent job, and like I said, he's my coach of the year right now to this point. But that's my list, and if you guys have any questions for my list, y'all go ahead and let it fly.
I'm gonna go first before VK goes. I don't really have a problem with your list. I know how you feel about Ruston because they lost on the field to Warren Easton, and I totally understand that. I got Ruston back in there because that was overturned, and I get it. If I was going by on the field, I wouldn't have Ruston in there. So I totally understand it. I see where you coming from, George. But other than that, I see why St. Charles Catholic is in your top 5. I see why, and I understand it, and I don't have an argument against that. So I really don't have a problem with your top 5. VK, what's your thoughts on George's top 5?
I don't have a problem with his top 5 either. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty interesting top 5 in itself. You know what I'm saying? I can see why Holy Cross is on both of your top 5s. It was hard for me to pick the number 5 on my top 5 myself, but Holy Cross is definitely legit, and they really are a really good team.
Number 5, yeah, the fifth team was hard for me because I was like Holy Cross, Zachary, Karen Crow, Lafayette Christian still was on my mind. Even Curtis was on my mind, but I was like, Curtis was the highest ranked national team, and Holy Cross did that. I got to do it. All right, now we go to my main man VK's list. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Number 1, Ruston. Number 2, Edna Carr. Number 3, St. Charles Catholic. Number 4, St. Thomas More. Number 5, and I think this was a shocker to me and George Peppers, the Kentwood Kangaroos. VK, go ahead and explain your top 5.
All right, I'm going with my top 5 more than anything else, based on not just eye test but also resume, also what the schedule is. No disrespect to Destrehan not being on top 5. Destrehan, and I'm gonna say it one time, they have not beaten anybody yet. John Ehret was a good win, but Destrehan, but Hanville, that's a rival game, but it's not really a rivalry right now. It's not. So I'm looking at it through a journalistic integrity type thing.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? More than anything else. Now, wow, that's big.
For real? Wow.
Wow.
Already?
Yeah, I did not know that. I swear to God.
Already? Wow.
200
Okay.
wins? Wow. That's
Wow.
crazy. It's unbelievable.
All right,
Now,
wait. I'm sorry. Wait. Tim.
no, you're good. You're good. Put up the top 5 back up. I wanted to put that up there.
Sure. I'll put it back up, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
He didn't ask you. He
I
told
know
you.
he didn't have me. The man is
He
so.
don't
I
know.
know, man. God.
Oh goodness. But Q, thank you so much for that comment. Who did he even play? That's the thing. No disrespect to the defending champs. I like Destrehan a lot, but we know the matchups later on this season is going to get bigger for Destrehan to get them ready for postseason. Now, reason why I have Rustin number 1. I'm not counting the Easton win. I'm not counting that. The other 4 wins on the road at Jesuit. Jesuit just defeated St. Augustine. So look how much of that win helps that schedule. They knocked off Lafayette Christian, giving them their first loss. They held a team averaging 50 to 24. And then they held Neville on the road to 12 points. Come on. I'm trying to be, I'm like this. I'm being intelligent as possible. And with my integrity, looking at the resume and eye test, Ruston is the number 1 team.
100 win.
Now, 101. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Now, number 2 is in the car. Now, somebody from another show overreacted. How you have car not number 1 and all that stuff? Why? Look, man, let's be honest, okay? It would be more disrespectful for me if I'd have had Carr at number 3 or number 4 or number 5. I'm giving Carr that much respect and putting them number 2 because of eye test, because of the wins. But look at their wins. Only 2 good wins. St. Aug, Easton. And it don't matter about the deficit. The deficit was huge. They dominated against Easton. But remember, 2 good wins out of 3. Do the math. So that's why Carr is number 2. Number 3, St. Charles is number 3. And like I said, the other 2 is a little more talented than St. Charles. But St. Charles has probably one of the best resumes out the 5. Really, maybe the best. But I got them in number 3. Number 4, I have St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More has been lights out consistent this year. When the lights are bright, they step up, they handle their business. That's how much respect I have for St. Thomas More. That's why I got him in number 4. Number 5. Well, the Brother Martin win is a good win too. Yeah, it was a good win. Not saying it wasn't, but we're talking about the huge wins. Like the Brother Martin win, not saying it's not. It's a district win. It's a good win for them. But they had to really have a good second. Had to have a second half. Now it shows you more than anything that the Catholic League is starting to figure out Carl just a little bit. Then it's showing Carl you're gonna have to earn your lunch to win the Catholic League. That's all it is, because these teams are not laying down so far. So that's just what it is with that. Number 5, it was tough. I thought about Holy Cross. I thought about Zachary. Zachary has been very impressive recently. But I went with Kentwood because Kentwood has really, really been thriving this season. One of the best and maybe deepest Class 1A teams we have seen this year. And you got to think they lost their first game of the season last week against about a week and a half ago against Walker 30-8. What happens? They bounce back and they beat their rivals, Amy, and hold them to 7 points. You hold your rival, a good team that you had to come down and bounce back for, to wind up beating the rival and holding them to 7. Kennedy, I'm saying Kentwood is proving themselves. That's why they are my number 5. And I'll tell you one thing. Next week, the top 5 might change. It might really change because things gonna get crazy. But especially at number 5. But I got to give big time props to Kentwood and Coach Foster what they're doing, and they're a real good team.
I'm gonna go first, George Peppers.
I just knew it. See, I knew this was a setup. I knew
Ain't
it.
no setup.
No.
I sat there saying you could disagree with me, what I said.
No,
you didn't do it. You agreed.
No, I agreed. I didn't have a problem.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. I just knew. See, I just know. I knew it was coming. People knew it was coming because VK has intuition. I know it. If there's no problems there, they go question VK. Throw it at me. I'm gonna deal with it.
George asked me why I didn't have St. Charles Catholic in my top 5. I answered. So he disagreed with that.
You sure did. Go ahead with the question.
I mean, you didn't let me get to the question first, boy.
No, you go ahead.
Off the get-go.
Man, he's coming at you, my man.
You see that, man? Off the get-go.
The savagery on the Hash It Out show.
So, here we go. Yeah, Corday. Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Yes, Coach Corday. Yeah. That's the first thing. Destrehan needs to be on this list, number 1. That's the first thing I disagree with you with. Destrehan needs to be on here somewhere. Okay? That's just how I feel. Number 2, you have Ruston over Carr. You're not counting the Warren Easton win. I mean, they didn't win on the field, of course. Easton did, but okay. But Carr beat Easton. And if we're going by on the field, Easton was the only team that beat Ruston, and Carr beat them. So I would flip them. That's just me. 3, 4, 5. You got Kentwood number 5. So you're gonna sit there and tell me right now, Kentwood can beat Curtis, Zachary, Karen Crow, Calvary Baptist, who just beat Westgate, North DeSoto. I mean, Southside,
Lafayette Christian,
Catholic, maybe Central, Warren Easton. I'm gone. You telling me Kentwood is better than all those teams? Is that what you're telling me?
Name those teams again. I'll tell you if they're better than.
All right. Karen Crow.
1 by 1.
Karen Crow.
Nah, Karen Crow stuffing in now.
Okay, Karen Crow 5-1, 5-0. Zachary.
Zachary, no. Zachary is really proving themselves. I say no on that one.
Okay, cool. I say Calvary Baptist.
Yes.
Kentwood be Calvary Baptist.
Yes.
Okay, he thinks so. Okay,
yes.
Cool. That's okay.
Because the thing is, they got that. You can laugh if you want to.
I am laughing because I'm going to respond to this.
Look, you can laugh if you want to. Kentwood probably got the athletes to match up with Calvary.
They don't have the depth, my brother. They don't have the depth. Calvary's
got numbers. What I heard, and this is from a lot of sources. This is the deepest Kentwood team that they've had in a long time. Meaning, they probably got as much depth as them. So that's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask some more questions.
Go ahead.
So we was at.
You said Calvary last one.
You said North DeSoto. Can they beat them?
I said it would have a chance. I would give North DeSoto a little bit of an edge.
Neville. I didn't say Neville.
No chance against Neville.
Okay.
Neville has a lot. That's depth to the 10th power.
All right. Lafayette Christian.
Lafayette Christian, I'm gonna say this: they would have a shot, but I don't
Shot
think that for a half. They'll have a shot for a half,
for half. All
and
right.
for a half, because Lafayette
But they
Christian
play
settled
four
down.
quarters though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They'll have a
All
shot
right.
for a half, and once Lafayette Christian settles down, it'll look like the De La Salle game last year in
Zachary.
the playoff. Take off
Zachary
for a half,
for
at
a half.
least a
Warren
half.
Easton. Warren Easton.
Nah,
No.
that'll be really tough. That's a
Um.
big act. That's a big axe.
I'll go to Georgia after this one. I'm gonna post it in a second. I'll go to Georgia after this one. But can Kentwood beat Shaw?
Hmm. It would be interesting. I would say it would be interesting for 3 quarters because Kentwood
Oh,
would definitely put up a fight. But then 4th quarter, Shaw settle down, get some drives in, score two touchdowns, maybe 17 points, pull away and win the game.
GP. Floor is
yes, sir.
yours.
Any business.
Well, I mean,
We're not
I'm not
picking on
gonna.
you, man. We
Oh
just
no, I
No.
know. Everybody has their opinions.
yeah. That's there you go.
I
There you
respect
go.
on that.
Like
George,
All
light me up.
right.
Go ahead.
like Q said,
Nice. All right,
Quintana
you.
said, man, leave that dude alone. That's his picks.
But the LOL at the end means she agrees that they agree with us.
oh
So
yeah.
that's what the LOL means. I mean, come on, read between your lines, big dog. But I don't. I mean, Rustin over Carr. I think I don't know. That's a subjective argument. I get what you're saying, but I'm a believer in what happened on the field and common opponents. Carr destroyed Warren Easton. Rustin lost at home to Warren Easton. That's a punishable number. I'm with you on 3 and 4. St. Charles and St. Thomas More. I'm good with that. Yeah, we are. Boy, holy. But Kentwood, we had Zephaniah Powell from Amita on last Tuesday. I think was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
We had him Tuesday or Wednesday.
One of
Tuesday.
those
I want to say
2 days.
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
It
Okay,
was
Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
yes, that's right. Tuesday. That's right.
But we had Lou Valdan. Was it
Wednesday.
Coach Valdan Wednesday?
Yep.
Yep.
Coach Valley
Okay.
Wednesday.
That's right. All right. Here's why I say that. Because when we talk to Zephaniah Powell, who I admire and respect, you listen to words and listen to how the mannerisms and how he talks. When I think it was VK and I asked him about the game against Kentwood, the upcoming game, he said, "We just hope to compete, that we are very young, and I hope my kids can handle the bright lights." 30-7 says no. Kentwood destroyed them. They did. The yellow, yes, indeed, really, Reginald. Man, that's
Really?
wrong. That is,
Golly,
Really?
Ricky. Jesus.
bruh.
Really?
Wow,
Really?
man, hey, bro, chill out with that. Come on,
Really?
listen.
Really?
I didn't VK
Really?
that deep like that, bro. It's all. I don't know. I don't want to say that's all in
I
fun. That's a little too
I
low there.
I'm gonna be like this, Reginald. I got a gift for you, my brother. I got a gift for you.
Sweet
Wait,
chin music,
wait till your little boy graduates. I got a gift for you. I got a gift for you, brother.
but
Tonight.
no.
Go ahead, George.
Go ahead, George.
But see, you just rattled all the teams JB rattled off to you that who can Kentwood beat. Only one you were convinced, and that one that you were convinced has no chance. Calvary Baptist would wipe the floor with Kentwood. Would
Wipe.
wipe the floor. That perimeter game would dominate on the outside. That receiving core, they always bring quarterbacks. And Calvary Baptist would light that scoreboard up on Kentwood. Kentwood's good, really good, and they've done really, really well to this juncture. But you're asking that team in a hypothetical matchup against a team that plays it wide open. They can't beat those kind of teams. They just can't. To have them fifth is a stretch. I mean, look, I get the quality. I do. I get it. But to have them ahead of those teams that JB just mentioned, the Zacharys, the Curtises, the Karen Crows, and Mike Hobbage was talking about Karen Crow. How do we not have him on the list? That's not an indictment. It's just how deep there's 44 undefeated teams going into week 6. Can't rank them all. I'll tell you the one team that I've got a soft spot for is a team that I covered where I used to live, the Bucky Panthers. They're 5-0, doing really, really well this year.
They are.
And they are absolutely. And my brother was telling me because he does the scoreboard show every Friday with Kenny, the original, and that team has just been incredibly good. They haven't played a whole heck of a lot, and Senlaw's got some good teams this year. Gina's back rolling again this year. Alexandria's off to a good start, but your list, VK. I mean, look, I have car one. I know what I saw against St. Augustine, and I don't even know if I want to call that a good win now because St. Aug lost to a Jesuit team that, quite frankly, is the bottom of the barrel in the Catholic League. I don't think Jesuit is a quality football team. They got destroyed by Ruston. Um,
And
I,
Lafayette Christian.
and Lafayette Christian. Well, Lafayette Christian, that's understandable. Those dudes play Madden Bowl up there, and we get to see it in a couple of weeks. So, look, VK, I respect your list. I just don't agree with
I do.
5.
I do
Huh?
too. I respect his list too.
I
I do.
respect your list. I just vehemently will disagree with you on 5. Kenwood wasn't even in the
will be changed.
discussion.
5 will be changed in about a week. Trust me, 5
Don't-
will be changed. It
You know what?
was
You know what?
just the fact that like we all three of us said, number 5 was tough.
It's
was tough,
subjective.
And I wanted to shake the room, and that's all it is.
You did more than that, bro. You put a 7.6 out there. I mean, that's some seismic stuff right there. But with that, I was going to say, goodness gracious, I had my train of thought. Listen, the argument can be made for a lot of teams to go to 5. I mean, for me, when I had Holy Cross, I don't want to be called a prisoner of the moment because they beat John Curtis. It's just a matter of how they did it. Zachary was on that list because I don't know if y'all saw what they did West Monroe, which didn't really
48
upset
to
me, but
7.
at West Monroe,
Yes.
at West, how many teams go that? How many teams do you remember going there and doing that?
Not many, because it's a hard place to win. Not
Exactly.
many. Well, we're gonna
That's the
remember this.
you ain't lying because I tell you what, Coach Brewerton was like, you know what? I might have taken a look at y'all, but it's a good thing I'm where I'm at, and he showed it on the field Friday night. That Zachary team, they're starting to hit their stride. And Cameron Crow is a team that's under the radar. I'm going to keep my eye on the Crow Bears. I mean, but you know what? We're already through one half of the season, JB and VK. We got a second half of the season to go. And now that we have clarity on the playoff format, it's all systems go. And I can't wait because for the Hash It Out Show games of the week upcoming in this second half of the season, we are licking our chops. I mean, St. James LCCP Friday night. The tailgate's going to be good. It's homecoming. I mean, and it's going to be cool. I don't know if y'all know, but we got a front coming, a big one. Yeah. So they say by Sunday it's going to really kick in, but we got the first of them coming this week. So hydration breaks. See you later. 90 degrees. See you later. We'll see you next. May?
Maybe so.
I
VK.
mean,
VK, I got one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Does Kenwood beat East St. John?
That game will go down to the wire.
Ooh.
Game will go down to the wire. No disrespect. That game will go down the wire.
Wait,
Just
saying. Okay, hold on. Let me Jared, I gotta interject. VK. We saw East St. John and they clobbered Thibodeau, which they were supposed to. You're telling me that East St. John team, when they're on point, Kentwood could stay with them for 48 minutes?
But hold up. That Kentwood team is way better than Thibodeau.
No, it's not. That's not the question. That's not the question.
But that's the answer. That is the answer. Because that's
so they could stay with them for. You're telling me that could stay within a score for 48 minutes? I think East St. John could name that number in that spot. JB,
Yeah. I think East St. John wins by 20
a lot.
That's my opinion.
A lot.
VK sees differently, and that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Cool.
I see you.
This is what makes great.
We've been wrong before, VK. We've been wrong.
I'm like this. I'm the dude that said St. Charles was going to hang with Lafayette Christian. What happened? They won the state championship.
That's 2 years ago.
That was you.
But that was me. That was me.
Oh, damn.
I was the crazy one 5 years ago. Here's the thing. I was the crazy one 5. I'm like, was it 7, 8 years ago at top 28? Here it is. 8 years ago at top 28. Now look at this. Madison Prep. the better basketball team. They go against Rayville, a veteran Rayville team. They said, "What you think the point spread on it?" I said Madison Prep. I said I give it by 3. And guess what? Madison Prep won by a point.
Mm.
Come on, man. I see something that you don't see.
We
and
know.
guess what?
We not disagreeing with that.
I'm not saying I'm a prophet. I'm wrong on some things, but sometimes I'm right on some things.
All of us. Correct.
I'm right on some things. So, hey, if I'm crazy saying that Kenwood can hang in there with, I'm crazy. Look what St. James did to these people early in the game. But credit East St. John, they finished it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, 1 year St. Charles beat Destrehan. Come on, man.
It happens.
Any given day. That's all I gotta say. It might change next week.
This for you. This DJ question to you. 35 got Kenwood.
Yeah, 35 does get Kenwood. And guess what? Kenwood beat 35 last year.
They did.
Hey.
Yes, they did.
It's something about it. I'm like this. It's something about going out the tangible hope. Those are tough opponents for 35. 35 wound up going 1-1 against A-Meat 1 year. And now they're going against Kenwood, which lost to them. Now they got to come to them. And which will be a great game. But like I said, those teams don't lay down. They're not an easy team. They're not. That's just what it is.
35 plays at Kentwood this week.
They're coming. That's next.
Kenwood coming this time.
Kentwood's making a trip. I'll say this, in all fairness, we were at McDonough 35 Salmon for the Hash It Out Show game of the week last weekend.
What? That was my next segment to get to some of these games that we saw, and I wanted to start with that 35 versus Salmon. Go ahead, George. Lead us
because I was on the call for that game with y'all assisting me. I'll say this. I've seen robbery at every level of sport when it comes to officials, and I said this to you guys when we signed off. After we signed off, I said I am sick and tired as a journalist, as a broadcaster, that officials at any level of sport interject themselves to determine the outcome of a football game. That's what happened at 35 last Thursday night. It happened Sunday night in New York with the Jets and the Chiefs with that phantom pass interference for holding whatever the hell they called on Sauce Gardner, which was not even in existence. So I am tired of officials interjecting themselves as we're the big dogs of the game. No, you police the game, but let the players play the game. Questionable. Oh, for the all Jesuit game, I wasn't there, so I can't comment. But that's my first thought. And obviously, the highlight game of the week was Holy Cross beating John Curtis in was it double overtime?
No, just
overtime.
Oh, regulation. It was a Hail Mary at the end.
Oh,
okay, that's right.
Yes.
It's a Hail Mary at the end of the game that they hit Cole Canatella doing great work with that receiving core. And Curtis, it was a unique matchup for them, and they couldn't put him away. And that's rare. That JT Curtis and his guys can't close. And they could not close against a resilient Holy Cross team. All Jesuit was disappointing for St. Augustine. They're going to have to search themselves, honestly. They're going to have to search themselves, St. Augustine. If they want to be more than what they think they want to be, they got to find it in their heart and in their soul and refocus and get this together. No, it was not, Reginald. Stop it.
Reginald, Stop it. Reginald, you the same dude. You got nothing to say because your freaking team gave up 7-0 a week ago. So you need to keep your mouth. You need to
he's a Broncos fan? He's a Denver Bronco.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Broncos fan happened?
And a Nebraska fan. So you need to
and they got waxed by Michigan 45-7. Get you some.
Pipe down, bro. You really need to pipe down.
But no.
Because pipe down, dog.
All right. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna start off with the 35 Salmon game. I guess we can say we saw defense on both sides of the ball from a 9-8 ball game. Good defense. Yep. That safety, man, that's what gets me, because Santana Price threw the ball out of bounds after scrambling for a whole 30 seconds in the end zone. and there was a receiver right there. And they said it was intentional grounding, and that was just a horrible call because it wasn't. The fumble later on by 35 in the red zone of Salmon, what we saw looked like he was down. Somebody told me that they saw the ball come out before he went down. Somebody told me that. Take it for what it's worth. Santana bringing his team back in the last minute was looking like it's about to be something special. He got him until inside the 20. Helmet gets ripped off. Now, if somebody rips your helmet off, you can stay in the game. But Santana gets scratched in the eye. And he's on the ground hurt. So he has to come out. Coach Daggs, in my opinion, had no other choice. Other people saying, like, put the backup in. You had 1 second left from the 10-yard line. Coach Daggs took a chance on his kicker. Can't blame the kicker when the O-line misses a block and the field goal gets blocked. And Salmon wins the game. But Salmon didn't score an offensive touchdown. They won 9-8. That bogus safety call is what did that game. That bogus safety call. I go to Holy Cross and John Curtis. Holy Cross could not stop Curtis' offense at all. They couldn't. But then again, John Curtis couldn't stop Holy Cross at all either. And what am I about to say? Yes. Holy Cross, while trying to come back, had 2 bad snaps on the extra points. Curtis scored with 1:11 left. And I said right then and there, that's too much time for a team to come back down the field that you haven't stopped. If I was Curtis, it was a tie ball game. I understand scoring. I get it. You're up by 7. I sat there and said, if Holy Cross goes back down this field, they're going for 2. You had 2 chances with extra points and bad snaps. Man, that Hail Mary. Unbelievable. What a catch. The ball was tipped twice. What a catch from number 15. I don't know his name for Holy Cross, but what a catch. So now they're going for 2, which I knew they would. And that play call was phenomenal. You send Cross in motion just to see what they're in. They're man-to-man. All right, we going with it. Hand off to the running back who's running towards the off tackle, but it's a reverse to Cross. Magnificent. 2-point conversion, good. Holy Cross, what a phenomenal win. Credit to Holy Cross. And if you want to talk about the St. Aug Jesuit game, St. Augustine offense just cannot figure it out. And that is Derek Johnson. Yes, DJ13. Thank you. And Renee Cray. He said the same thing. Derek Johnson. Thank y'all. That's the running back name for
and it was Colby Young that did score the 2 to win it.
That's what I said, right? Colby Young?
No, you said Cross Johnson.
My fault. Colby Young. That's who I meant. My apologies. See, that was Colby. My apologies. I mean, like VK said, we ain't perfect. Anyway, St. Augustine offense just can't keep rolling. The defense plays well, but man, how long the defense gonna be on the field? This offense got to find something soon. And somebody told me earlier today, what if St. Augustine makes the playoffs and then they pull a Brother Martin from last year? Because Brother Martin had no offense at all last year in the regular season. Then the playoffs, the offense took off until they met Curtis in the championship. I need St. Augustine offense to take off now. Oh, no, Reggie. No. They got the talent. Reggie. They got it.
Reggie's not going to look at it your way.
I know he's not. They got it, Reggie. But if this offense can finally come together, find some type of chemistry, find some type of rhythm, I'm still saying look out.
I really, looking at the games like that it was something else, that Salmon and 35 game, and then Holy Cross has put a stamp into being one of the contenders of the Caddy League title. They have stamped it with that win. And somebody kind of questioned whether is it going to be an upset. It shouldn't. It is an upset because this is the first big signature win for Holy Cross in about over a decade. They have not had, maybe 1 or 2 decades. They have not had a huge win like that in a long, long time.
The last 3 years combined, only 7 wins. They got 5 already.
They got 5-0. They made a big gutsy play. Big shout out to Miss Keisha Washington. That is Kobe Young's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she is at the games. She's coming from Texas to come down here to watch. And you know who his brother is?
Yeah,
Kalai Zalewski.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to make that score, that helps his recruiting a lot. But then on top of that, this Holy Cross team is really proving themselves. I was just about to say that, Reggie. I was just about to say something about that. For St. Augustine, I'm like this, man. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. As an alumnus, they need to this is do or die this week. This is do or die. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Forget homecoming. This is do or die. What you gonna do? Holy Cross is coming to kick you behind. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're trying to do. They're proving. I didn't put them in top 5 for one reason. I want to repeat performance. I want to see what they're really good. I want to see repeat performance. And they could put St. Aug out to pasture this Saturday. But the Purple Knights have to wake up. They got to wake up, and they got to wake up now if they're going to prove themselves as a good team. Because what we seen last week was, in my opinion, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Not knocking Jesuit. Not at all. Jesuit has been tough in some games. They had to make Curtis earn their win. But at the same time, St. Aug is a way better team than Jesuit. And for them to just play below the standard, that's not good at all. And they got to come together this week. If they're going to play like men, they better do it this Saturday.
It's do or die this Saturday for St. Aug. It is do or die. They have to. They're 0-2 in district. And a lot of us did not see that happening. Maybe 1 lost to Carr, maybe 2 to Curtis. That's about it. They're 0-2 now. They got to do something. George, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Finishing up on the St. Aug thing, the question I have especially for VK, but for both of you, is the seat going to get hot if all can't get it together? For Nick Foster.
I'll let VK go first on that one.
No comment.
Understand that.
No comment.
Understood.
I understand that.
My only thing is I just feel bad for
you feel bad for Nick.
Yes. I feel bad for Nick.
I do too.
I feel bad for the whole situation. I feel bad for the athletic director, Ryan Sims. I feel bad because they're trying.
Yeah.
They're really, really trying. And, and I can't point a finger to I'm at a point that I cannot point to no fingers of who to blame. It's a team thing.
I'm the same way.
It's a freaking team thing. And all it is, somebody has got to step up. Somebody's got to man up and say, and it ain't just Dawson, because Dawson, he's the one that gonna say, get on my back. But somebody else has got to have his back and say, let's go, let's get it. And I think the person is Hubert Calise. Hubert Calise need to be that guy.
Okay.
And say, hey, despite he's not getting the ball, and I'm gonna say this right now, he should get the ball more and more because that's a weapon.
You answer my question because I don't think they're using him enough.
That's a weapon that they're not using.
Yeah.
They need to use him. I'm telling you now. If Hubert Calise is watching this, bro, it's time for you to be that guy. It's time for you to do what you did your freshman year at St. Aug when you led that team to the state championship in basketball. It's time for you to be that guy again. And I think he's got to be that guy with Dawson and saying, hey, get on my back. Let's go get this thing. Whatever it is, put it behind you. And that's what they're going to have. That's what all going to have to do. They're going to have to man up this Saturday. If I'm like this, I want to win. But if they lose, it's going to be tough. But if they lose in a close and a fight, I'm okay with that. Because, okay, you show some fight. But now you got to really put all your pieces together. But this is the week they got to put all the pieces together right here.
How about them Kennedy Cougars? Number 2 in the Go Preps Power Rankings. 4-1. Kennedy Cougars. Coach Trey, we see y'all. We see y'all. Trust me. We see everything.
Scary team once all them kids come together, man. You know, Kennedy is going to be a scary squad. But the district in itself, man, you just gotta love how that better district is going to become. That's going to help Kennedy, Patrick Taylor, Wright, and Livingston down the line. That's really helps them a lot.
Most definitely. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Hash It Out show tonight. Big thank you to Coach Kenny Bourgeois, the head coach of the Patrick Taylor Tigers football team. It was a honor to have him on the show tonight. Tomorrow night, we're gonna have his opposing coach that he's facing, Coach Devin Francois of the Livingston Wolves, will join us tomorrow night. He just hit me up saying, "Can I call him?" So I'm gonna call him when we get off the show.
Big shout out to Coach Francois.
Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to Coach Francois. Thank you, Coach Trey. Appreciate it, man. Everybody that's still here, thank y'all. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. We're back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. VK, you got a last word?
And we had a good show tonight, man. Thank everybody for being here. The interactions continue to be great and great every week, man. And the people who came on tonight, all the Patrick Taylor folks, please subscribe. Come on back tomorrow night, man. We want you to come back every time we come on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, man. We love this fan base, and we can continue to grow each and every week, man. Gotta love it, man. Appreciate you guys.
GP.
As far as closing thoughts, look, another great show tonight. Looking forward to tomorrow night, and of course, the highlight of any Hash It Out show, the picks. And that's going to be another fun segment that we do every week. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to keep a running tally the last couple of weeks. I've been extremely busy with my other entity, work, and just haven't really had the time to crunch numbers. But well, look, hey, it was our pleasure, and y'all atmosphere was lit for a Thursday night, and it was a breezy night too. And look, you're not going to get a complaint from broadcasters when they can go out if they got a broadcast outside. As long as we didn't slap mosquitoes or any of that stuff, we were just fine. And yeah, y'all were great to us, and we thank y'all, and we look forward to coming back again. It's home. Excuse me, it's home. So. And to the folks in St. James, we're looking forward to coming to see you guys Friday night. And Lake Charles College Prep is a worthy opponent. And we're not going to no, we're not going to do any of that. I mean, I think he was going at VK pretty hard a while ago, but that man's a Broncos fan, so he's got his own problems. So I'm just saying, you got your own issue, my boy. And I can't say nothing because last night was not very good. 11 sacks, 2 picks, 2 fumbles. But I do want to say one more thing: journalistic integrity. BK harped on it earlier. I think we saw a I think there was a missing thing of it this week in the NFL. Rodney Harrison Sunday night goading Chris Jones into saying that another football player, is garbage. Dude, turn in your pink slip, my boy. Turn in your freaking resume. Get out of there. That was as disgusting as an act as I've seen in a long, long time. There's no place on TV to fit a narrative. If you don't like the guy, fine. But your personal beef or whatever, because look, Zach's not a model citizen. I'll say it. I mean, the stuff about him messing with kids' mamas and all that stuff, that's whatever. I mean, that's him. That's on his body. But Rodney Harrison, Stay in your lane, bro. You're a Hall of Famer. Act like it. Stop acting like some other punk John no clue. Come on, man.
At least he's not an idiot like Charleston White if you see that video.
Who? Wait, who?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Charles.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, we'll leave that. We'll talk about that after the show. But no,
another type of show.
yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. But no, Rodney Harrison, no, that was just disgraceful, dude. And Chris Jones, I give you credit, dog. I give you big ups for not falling into that nonsense. And I like to think that the three of us do a wonderful job. We do. And I hear you. Oh, they're about to start. It looks like. But it seems like it. It's line 53. Yeah, they'll be ready to go here. Culture of the game, right? I think it's what they do on Tuesday nights.
Yes, sir. Culture of the
game. Yep.
So it's been a great show, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to doing this tomorrow night. And VK, starve yourself to Friday, bro, because we can get fed real good down there in Vassary.
All right.
You know that.
Everybody, my good friends, 1008 Prep TV Sports on Instagram. That's the name, 1008 Prep TV Sports on Instagram. We'll start this show at 10 o'clock. Let's like it. Catch Courtney Hogan and Tori Davis, right, VK?
Yes, sir.
Tori Davis, the culture of the game. They're going to talk about some games coming up this week. But make sure y'all come back tomorrow with us, 8 o'clock. For VK, for GP, I'm JB, your sports guy. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all, take care.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area, move. Clear my area. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show.